All right, real quick on the Trappuccino and the Simpsons movie, because this is tying into the fall this year, 2025 and beyond, as that the ice dome is coming in over America, and this device that can save them and so called is outside of the dome and they can't reach it. And once they get out, Homer and them go to Alaska, and it's not owned by America. And then we were told that America got Alaska from Russia. So, and then parts of America came from Mexico, and America owes this much in debt, and the debt collectors are coming in for these nations, and this is kind of where things are being on that round table, and the King Arthur and whatever pulling that sword out of the stone, all those little different things playing around as the America is being sold and portioned off in different ways. Okay, so as this Simpsons movie, this ice dome is coming in, it's being brought by this invasion or whatever, being brought in over it, and we have this three-eye atlas over America, and we see a darkness on this cartoon coming in over the people, and you think it's like aliens or kind of thing or whatever, and it ends up being this dome. And we have the three-eye atlas aliens here, we have the DC being dark on that level, so that's the shadow of America and the people kind of running rampant. And this is where also all these things being shown, and then people kind of, the rats are at one level, and then you're taking away the food at another level. So this is when they start, if you've ever dealt with a breeding operation of rats and mice and such, once it gets like to a certain level of dirtiness or filthiness, and then it gets to a certain level of food being scarce, and then also the ones that are sick or whatever else, it starts to eat each other up. Okay, and that eat is upon you as the 8th year of the woman clothed in the sun is here, and the tariffs are being stacked on for 11/1, and then DC's dark at the same time as Trump is making deals with Japan. Korea's giving them a necklace, and then you have China doing another thing where the so-called tariffs aren't going to take effect on one level. But this is where we can see some parallel bars being done for those gymnastics in a way, and those gymnasty ticks and talks or whatever are coming as that Mary time is before you. So we saw the primed Mary and that conservatism, and now the Mary time is here before us, and this is where that red dawn or the dark dawn starts shining the light, the eclipse, and all those things that we've been gotten into years back, and we've been connecting these things for us better understand as things are revealed a little bit of a different fashion here on this channel. Okay, but so as we can see some things lining up, and then gold's here. Costco is selling gold. The Florida doing the gold, accepting gold and silver here. The WLFL, the World Liberty Financial that Trump's doing, and then that's tied to the Justin Sun. All those things are tied into this little Venn diagram, the heaven Venn diagram or whatever. But either way, so all these things are playing out as the DC's dark. When it turns back on, that's where I'm kind of like spiraling down, and then Doge comes in and starts fighting that snake and whatever else. Okay, so it's where you see kind of all the animals of the Chinese zodiac coming into play as we're going into these times where all things are made and built on, and this is where we get the different calendars, and where February can be a December, to where you get these different stacks of realities opening up for the people who have the eyes and ears to follow along and realize, and whatever else, or if you've been following along, be sending these things out once you know that you can stack them together, whatever. But either way, so the Homer Simpsons movie or whatever, the Simpsons movie, came out not too long ago with him holding up the donut, which is a sign for your Super Bowl, and that bad bunny, and the bad bunny ties to the red rabbit trail, or red pill rabbit trail, and the pill ties to your Jacob and Esau. We saw Doge carrying the chainsaw and that Texas chainsaw massacre, and the New York Stock Exchange being set up in the Dallas, the Dow, all those things. Oh man, everything's built in a hall of mirrors, the halls of Bahala, and you're walking in to Han in a way, the room of Han, which is the bad guy on Enter the Dragon. And this is where the one hand and the metal hand, they're interchangeable by the bad guy. And the bad guy and the good guy are all within whoever, okay? But the Bruce Lee guy comes in and starts using his own fist and breaking his own the mirrors in order to understand the reflection. And it breaks down to one thing, and then it finally gets to where it's in person. And that and all those things are all kind of before you as the dragon turns 85 this year. And that Charlie and that Dragon Lee and all those things are put before you as the years of 40 to 49 are condensing, and your Netanyahu is born in 49, and the year after Israel was formed as that nation state and such was in 48 or 49. So all these little wrap-ups and such, and time spans and collections of times and day ones for a new heaven and earth to open, and a day 7 to collapse in as the Lord God brings them in. And then once they eat from that tree of life brought to them, that they're told is surely death, but it's going to make them as gods. And that's when they have to realize that what they've been taught to blind them and to guide them and stuff and to keep them in bounds was a lie. And it was taught to them by the so-called whatever their religion is. And their religion can be NASA, their religion can be their doctor, their textbooks, their as far as the way the modern system teaches it, because Hitler told us that you repeat the lie long enough that people are going to believe it. And this is exactly what we've seen today, and this is where the motion picture given life, this image given life, to bring happiness and joy and entertainment and to help us forget this world. But yet people are taking this image and bringing it into this world, and this is where this merge, and somebody has realized this, and they're coming in and taking control of these things. It's the dawn of time. And as you're taken into the wild times, this Moses and all these other things, the Pharaoh, who has control of the serpents as well, is going to do the same magic with the serpents as Moses can. He's going to come up on you, on those Red Seas. And those Red Seas are going to keep you back. Be so filled with that anger, that birth of Jesus. It's actually the birth of Satan. That Homer's Iliad, the Iliad with the Lottie Mares and the Rasputin and all those things are all coming in to this world in some mirrors and reflections. So, that Frappuccino, that so-called morning crack, the coffee, the hack, attack, and all those things. Colombia, the beans, the can of beans. We're seeing things in a forward reality. We're seeing things in a backward reality where we see the can of beans, the beans open first and put back into the can, and the char cloth, all those things are all being intermingled as the DNA, the light of God, is coming into this world and transforming it. Okay, and it shines through men, and some of us are trying to connect all these lights for you people to understand. But either way, folks, we'll end it on the old Simpsons broadcast here for the old Trappuccino, because the Trappuccino is the tea rapture and that trapture and those types of things. But as he traps, he opens. And as he opens, that's what's like, you've been taught, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there, spanking, panking, panking, panking. I got 2 pankings. I got three panking. I'm really in trouble. 4 panking. I'm really in trouble. The panking are detained for the armies that gathered. The army that gathered who didn't have the gift to hear their God. You understand, God? I'm not making fun here, because it's funny fine. It's funny for some, but not for others. Have you all forgot to laugh, people? Either way, well, if the Simpsons said it, you'd be laughing, or if South Park said it, you'd be cracking up. Don's nuts being held on there, on the Homer, the home mirror. The old Rip Lee's, believe it or not, two-way mirror. Okay, so we'll see how all this plays out, because you go on the two-way mirror and do all these faces or whatever, everybody's on the other side. You don't know until you get there, but it only works one fucking time. Okay, one fucking time. And might as well get into a little bit of things, because the Wax Museum, the W Axe Museum, and all that shit kind of going on for the 23 session on that 9/11 as it's carrying over in the 24 year and such. But the Wax Museum, the people, when you go to the funeral, sometimes, been to different funerals or whatever, they kind of get different vibes. Okay, but sometimes they got a real wax figure. Okay. So there could be like some type of exchange system going on in some levels of areas, all right, where they're flip-flopping mountain ways, and well, you could be eating Taco Hell meat, or the Hamburglers, as the people have come in and stolen the flesh of humans and replace it with some wax or some shit like that, because I assume that one or two or three, whatever, is going to come to a point where you probably prefer the lab meat, because you don't know if you're eating human flesh or whatever, and you'd probably get to a point where you'd want to start buying from the local farm and all those things. Okay, so we'll see how all these little things play out as far as the grand scheme of things, but these things where China is selling this meat of buying human organs or whatever is all coming to a seed to sell system, and I'm going to do another video tied into that, because this is tying into the soy farms and shit that Trump is tying into as far as China and the tariffs. Meow.